how to manage your money when it comes to punting.
And your wife.
When I met
partner.
My wife knew I was a punter when she met me, and straight away we made an arrangement where I would have a joint account, and every week I'd have a direct debit into my betting account, and it would build up over time. I knew if I lost that was it. So that was my amount to bet, and I would use that money to bet with, and that would grow and grow. When I had a win, most of it would go back into it. I'd buy something with it, buy 3 Titleist golf balls or something, or and
get your golf clubs back yourself. For
that's
your
right.
Can we get a 9-9?
Having maybe 2 accounts where you've got your serious bets, like for someone like yourself, you're saying having a lot of bets, maybe have 2 accounts, one for your fun bets where you at the races have a bit of fun, but before you go you've had your 2, say $100 to bet for the day, $25 or $30 on one, $20 on the other, depending on the price you can get. So those 2 are taken care of, and just have fun with the next $50. If you win from that, put it in your bank. It's so most important thing is to build up the bank, I think, and for your betting is to, even if it takes 5 years, just keep taking away, because when you start losing, that's when you start betting desperately and you start chasing your money. But if your bank's there, you'll be fine.
So drip feed in a weekly amount if you can afford it in your budget.
We still do it. We still do it. That money goes into my betting account.
So you might build up your bank religiously over say 8 weeks, but not actually have a bet in that time because you don't like anything. But you've got more ammo.
Yeah.
Is that
if you can do that? If you can not have a bet for a week, that's good discipline.
Yeah.
But write down all your bets. I used to write down all my bets and handwriting, and say why I was backing them. So on Sunday night when I went back to review the bets, I would say this horse lost. I thought, trying to figure out why. And there's a reason why. It was fresh up or second up, or jockey poor strike rate, or the track condition was heavy. I found out pretty well soon on that wet tracks I was hopeless on. Yeah. And most punters are.
Yeah.
You have an occasional winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guilty. And also I found I was good. I found if I studied times, did them properly, my strike rate was much better when my bets were based around sectionals and times. So you stick with what you know and what works.
So question for you, Neil, and a lot of guys, this will be probably on their lips. You got $100, you go to the races, and you're kind of wanting to make a bit of money. Would you recommend them betting, say, $10 in every race, or just having 1 or 2 bigger bets and missing a few races where they don't particularly like something?
Yeah, I think long term, two $50 bets is the way to go, but you could have, say, 2 $30 bets and spend $40 on them, some action bets.
Yeah.
Do it that way.
Just to give you guys some quick context here, there's 85 people watching live right now.
Crikey.
How many watching Shortland Street?
Do they still have that show?
Yeah.
So
that.
people are listening, which is good. And I guess the one thing that I started doing probably a couple of years ago that's really helped me is I started tracking all of my betting. So all of my betting I did it electronically so that I could basically carve it into where it was going, whether it was staying onshore or offshore. And what it did for me is it allowed me to play a longer game of, okay, I actually knew sort of how, like whether I was down, whether I was at, and then when I was up, I'd be more inclined to notice I didn't want to bet stupidly because I didn't want to undo
the good work
being up, and then I was just times where it was just like, look, I'm not going to have a bet because I've spent too much or whatever in that period, or then I recovered some losses from earlier and looked at it as a longer term game rather than just I've actually got no idea where I'm at, sort of fluctuating for the year. So I think you could almost track a spreadsheet if you were that way inclined or something, but I think, like you say before, if you only allocate yourself a certain amount, then you're only going to be able to lose potentially that allowance anyway, so you're kind of going to know. But I would definitely encourage people to track their betting in some way, whatever works for them, and get religious about it, right? Yeah.
Keep it simple, not time consuming, but keep a record.
Yeah.
And regularly go over and think, how can I improve, or what did I do well?
Yeah. 2
questions you should ask yourself regularly in punting. Yeah.
What were those again? What
have I done well this week? What do I need to improve on?
That's just for everything in life, isn't it, Go?
Exactly.